Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is January the 4th, 2008. Let me take this time to welcome you to a next edition of Let's Talk Politics with Sean Malcolm, coming live from the islands of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to welcome my viewers there in Grand Turk, South Caicos, Middle Caicos, North Caicos, and indeed right here in Providenciales in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Also, let me take this time to welcome Turks Islanders from all across the globe, especially in the Bahamas, in Jamaica, in the United States of America, Canada, London, and indeed in the rest of the world. Let me also take this time to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And I pray that God will bless each and every one of you during this 2008. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I am elated to have as my guest on this first Let's Talk Politics show for the year 2008. He is no stranger to the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands. He is an attorney at law. He is a politician. He is a father. He is a born-again Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Mr. Finbar Grant, attorney at law. Welcome to Let's Talk Politics tonight, Finbar.
Thank you once again for having me, Mr. Malcolm. Sean, it's always a pleasure to sit with you and talk. And I'm quite excited about the new media that you're now using to get your message by the media here in the Turks and Caicos. Well, I think that's probably an issue that we need to get into. But thank you for having me. And I want to say good night to all those persons who are listening. Indeed, as we say, good night to the world. When God said they close one door, another opens. And here now you have an access to a much greater audience. Good night to you. And I want to wish all of you a happy new year. As Sean said, may God richly bless you this year.
Thank you very much, Finn. Tonight, looking forward to this discussion, Mr. Grant. As you know, during the ending part of last year, we, the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands, has witnessed a very interesting scenario that has developed in these Turks and Caicos Islands as it relates to this long ongoing process of these two hospitals that has been in the air for the last 3 years in terms of this administration. And indeed, as the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands know, that the two hospitals was something that was initiated by the previous PDM administration, and when they left office, that over the last 2 weeks, the signing of a next hospital deal. Now, for those viewers out there and that are watching the show tonight, they may not understand how long we've been dealing with this hospital deal. We have gone through so many figures as it relates to how much it's going to cost the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands to build these two small hospitals in this country. We have seen the cost gone from 50 million to 75 million to 100 million, now 125 million. Some news media in the Turks and Caicos Island quote the ministers as saying 200 million. The people of this country is confused. Mr. Grant, can you share some of your views on this hospital?
And Grand Turk is going to be a savior to the economy if you spending on like $25 million or $125 million a year to airlift people out. So the need is there. It is something that has been recognized by the previous administration. As you said, the PDM government had did feasibility studies, and they set the groundwork for building a hospital. Now we have the PNP who promised from the last administration that it was going to build. Remember, we had the groundbreaking ceremony, well, more or less just the kickoff of the campaign, which was a fraud because nothing happened after that, given no deal. Now we have them coming to terms so that we have a hospital deal signed for $125 million. Now, although we need them, we have to question this signing, and we have to question the figures. Mainly, this is a government that has not only to its people, but even the UK government has questioned its use of figures as well, because they have been proven to be false on so many occasions. These hospitals are supposed to be ultra-modern, good, but they're small. I think some 44 rooms, and now it has been billed at $125 million. And the BVI recently, they just finished their hospital. I think it was 133 or so rooms. Little, the cost of a little over $60 million. $125 million. We have to find out. Well, we're here that First Caribbean is going to provide financing. We need to know, has this financing been approved by the British government? Because we ourselves, when we enter into loan agreements, the British government had to sign off on it. Correct. That has not been said. We have to figure out if we really getting value for money. What are we paying for at $125 million? We know that the contract to build them is being done by Johnson. Unfortunately, well, as is representative by this government, there was no bidding.
So the tendering process?
No tendering process, so we didn't know if we could have saved here. The hospitals was handed to Johnson, more like well, we'll get to the dealing with the land handed to the premier. So we didn't know if that was an exchange for that. But the project was simply handed to Johnson, and they said it for their price. It can't be that Johnson's the only construction company and Trucks and Cake is capable of building it. That is not so. And from the looks of it, Johnson seems to be downsizing. They seem to be selling off all the equipment, and they're not as busy as they used to be. So that also needs to be questioned. They say that the deal is signed. We pick up the newspaper, we see the delegation that went to London. By the way, the deal was signed at London, but I don't think it was at a facility, or the signing was sponsored by the UK government, but at one of the either Inter-Canada or Barclays office. Now, I see that we have the Attorney General there. I see the governor is missing. I know that the ministers are there, but none of these ministers can legally bind the government of the Turks and Caicos Islands. That have to be done by the governor. So if these contracts are not signed by the governor on behalf of the government, then that raises another question. Do we have really signed and sealed contracts, or do we have the signing of an intent to contract? I don't know if the governor has delegated, it doesn't say so, his responsibility to one of these members signing. Give them the power to bind the government and doing the agreement. So although they say they have a deal that is signed, well, that is what the Sun is saying, and given that it's the Sun, question still has to be asked.
Well, Finbar, the people of this country over the Christmas were really taken aback as to the headline that came out in the